You ever get that feeling where you start noticing one company's name popping up just about everywhere, building the highways you drive on, the pipelines for our resources, even the massive dams that manage our water? Well, today, we're diving into the story of one such company, Megha Engineering. They seem to be winning almost every major project out there, and we're going to ask a really simple question: how?
I mean, it's a story of just incredible expansion and success. But the big question we're digging into is pretty straightforward. Is this company just that good? Or is there maybe a little more to the story?
All right, so first things first, let's try and wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this operation. We're talking about Megha Engineering, a name that, in a lot of places, has basically become another word for massive infrastructure development.
And just look at the variety here. It's not like they're just sticking to one thing. Nope. We're talking critical irrigation projects, oil and gas pipelines, sprawling highway networks, and huge power plants. Their footprint is literally everywhere. They've got contracts across the board.
And the money, whoa, the financial scale is just absolutely staggering. We're not talking about a few million here and there. We are talking about thousands upon thousands of crores. This is serious nation-building kind of money. Okay, but here's the thing. Whenever you see this kind of super fast growth, this incredible level of success, you know questions are going to pop up. And this is where the story starts to get a little more complicated. Let's flip the coin and see what's on the other side.
So you can see this stark contrast right here. On one side, you've got these undeniable wins, right? Massive expansion, they're dominating the market, they're in all these different sectors. But then, on the other side, you start hearing about some pretty significant issues. Things like project delays, real concerns about the quality of the work, and yeah, even official penalties.
And just to be super clear, we're not talking about rumors or gossip here. The source material we're looking at points out that in at least one big highway project, the problems were serious enough that the authorities actually had to step in and take formal action.
And what does that action look like? Well, it's come in a few different flavors. We're talking financial penalties being imposed, official investigations being launched into how they operate, and some reports are even mentioning allegations of favoritism, whispers about how these contracts are being handed out. So this right here is the core mystery of this whole situation. It's the big question. If all these problems are out there and they're documented, how in the world does this company keep on winning these huge major contracts? Let's just let that sink in for a second. It's a total paradox, isn't it? On one hand, you've got this paper trail of official concerns and penalties, and on the other, a nonstop flood of massive new projects. How do those two things even exist at the same time?
Well, to figure this out, we've got to look at the system itself. It turns out there's an official, kind of procedurally answer that sheds some light on how this can happen. So let's break it down.
A huge part of the answer comes down to this one simple principle: lowest bidder wins. Now, this is a pretty standard way of doing things for public projects all over the world. And the idea behind it is simple. And honestly, it sounds fair, right? The government should give the job to whoever can do it for the least amount of taxpayer money.
So the process is really straightforward. The government puts out a call for a project, companies submit their secret financial bids, and boom, the one with the lowest number wins the contract. Simple as that. It's a system that's designed to be careful with public money. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. A system like this can, without even trying, end up favoring the big guys. Think about it. A huge company with tons of resources, deep pockets, and the ability to buy materials in bulk, they can often afford to bid way lower than their smaller competitors, even if their profit margin is paper thin. They just have the financial muscle to win that race, time and time again.
Okay, so the lowest bidder rule gives us a pretty mechanical explanation for what's happening, but it doesn't really answer the bigger and I think more important question, and this is where the story really connects directly to all of us.
You have to ask, does just picking the lowest price automatically mean you're getting the best value or the best quality or that the project will even be finished on time? Is this system, which was set up to save us money, actually giving us the best bang for our buck?
And that makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are there, weak spots in this system? Could there be loopholes that are being exploited by companies who really know how to play the game? Maybe by sacrificing quality or cutting corners, just to make sure that super low bid still turns a profit.
Because at the end of the day, here's the fundamental principle that's at stake. Every single crore that's spent on these massive projects, that's public money. It's our money. And that means we have a right to know what's going on. We have a right to transparency and accountability.
So look, if you have a system that keeps awarding enormous contracts to a company that's also facing serious questions about its performance, well, it's only fair to ask if that system is really working the way it's supposed to, because this money is yours, and the answers about how it's being spent, those should be yours too. It's something to think about.